Anybody want to discuss anything on the agenda items? All right, hearing none, call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. No one has a nay, so the ayes have it, and so our agenda is approved.
Okay, and under correspondence, I do have a little bit of correspondence to present tonight from the Alabama Association of School Boards, just for board information. The AASB sent a letter and a certificate just to let Muscle Shoals know that we are a board in good standing and that we do have our membership up to date with them. And your membership cards have been requested, I think, from Ms. Woolfolk, so she'll be getting you those in pretty short order. And then also, we finally received the information on the policy pipeline. I know there was some discussion during the work session about that, and some of you plan to participate in the webinar on Thursday, but we did get that information, and probably at our next board meeting, depending on what's in this packet and what we hear on the webinar, I'll have some policy updates to present to you all to consider the next meeting. All right, and then under business action items, Madam President, for the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background material on each item, or has discussed the item at a previous meeting. Consent agenda items will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wants to discuss any item, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. For tonight's consent agenda, we have the minutes from the June 7th regular meeting and the July 7th special call meeting, as well as the bills and accounts for June. The June financial report and those statements have been reconciled. You have the 22-23 course offerings for the high school and the career academy, a revised contract for school resource officers. We will be setting whole board training for Friday, August the 19th from 1 to 3 p.m. We have an emergency vehicle purchase for our child nutrition program, as well as a handbook procedure change related to tobacco products, vapes, and that sort of thing at the high school and middle school. Does any board member wish to pull anything from the consent agenda and vote on it separately? Hearing none, Madam President, I recommend item A, the consent agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board, the superintendent has made a recommendation that we approve the consent agenda items as presented. Is there a motion that we do this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second, so I'll call to vote. Is there any discussion first? None. Call to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the consent agenda items are approved.
Okay, the next item is the personnel report, and I recommend the personnel report as presented.
Okay, Board, Dr. Holden has recommended personnel report as presented. Is there a recommendation is there a motion that we accept this?
Madam President, I move we accept the personnel report as presented.
Thank you, Mr. King. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, call to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the personnel report is accepted.
All right.
As presented.
All right, I'll read it for the benefit of the audience. It is quite lengthy, so if I misspeak, y'all please let me know. Under resignation and retirement, Blair Woods, teacher, Muscle Shoals Middle School. Bill McNally, system-wide custodian, McBride Elementary, that's effective September the 1st. Tanya Turner, teacher, Howard Grace Preschool. Under transfer reassignments, Molly Beth Chapman, from teacher at McBride Elementary to teacher at Muscle Shoals Middle School. Under employment, Princess Jackson, kindergarten teacher, Howard Grace Preschool. Andrea Young, teacher, McBride Elementary. Jennifer McGaffey, system-wide CNP assistant, assigned to McBride in the middle school. Under other part-time special appointments and supplemental assignments and nurse substitutes, we have retroactive payments for mentoring service to 5 teachers. That would be from the spring semester, I believe. We have some corrections or additions to the 22-23 activity and athletic supplement schedule that was approved on July 7th for locally funded mentors Sharon Fuller and Tiffany Stonecipher, a state-funded mentor Julie Letzinger, a stipend for safety coordinator to John McClanahan, 21 supplemental days as head coaches. That's Blake Beck in baseball, Katrina Smith in basketball, Theo Steinhauer, a $1,500 stipend to be an assistant soccer coach paid from the soccer account. Eli Henson, volunteer assistant with cross country. Leella Holt, volunteer assistant with volleyball. Amber Hester, part-time music instruction at Highland Park in Webster. Jolene Fretwell, pending enrollment in her courses, extra block of medical science for a total of 7 blocks. Same thing for Jimmy Gay, extra block of driver's ed. Scotty Peoples, extra block of health instruction. Joel C. Rutherford, extra block of welding instruction at the Career Academy. Dwight McGee, hourly mentor and consultant to the robotics teacher, as well as to consult on planetarium operations. Samantha Frederick, stipend for painting the mural at McBride campus during the summer. We have 2 Community Ed Extended Day Program site leads approved tonight, as well as 9 student aides for the Community Ed Extended Day as well. Also, our teams contract. We have advanced team contracts approved tonight for Stacy Ade, Kathy Belote, Kathy Eldridge, Carrie Johnson, Christina Porter, Karen Posey, Lori Roberts, Mary Frances Wright, and 3 preliminary teams contracts for Matt Jones, Darby Lindsay, and Carly Malone. And then for information only, not for board action, Kelly Services staffing updates, our special education paraprofessionals, Lauren Norton at Howell Graves, Nicole Shirley, Kara Wright, and Kelsey Flanagan at Webster. And this is not on your personnel report, but since it's for information only, I want to go ahead and report because Dr. Templeton did some interviews today and also added Gabriel Goodloe to that list. McBride Elementary, Brittany Latham. At the middle school, Susan Garcia, Natalie Springer, and Casey Ferris will be returning. At the high school, Christy Schnurrer and Jamie Boston, who previously worked for us in our C&P. And then also Kim Bailey will fill a medical leave in science in the STEM class at McBride from August 22nd to approximately October the 14th. And I believe that's all. All right, that's all on the personnel report. That wasn't mine. All right, the last thing I have, Dr. Rudolph, is just a brief superintendent's report. And 1 week from today, right, Muscle Shoals City Schools employees will all be here. It's hard to believe the summer is already over, but we will gather at the Stratford Auditorium there at the high school, as we always do, at 8 a.m. For our annual Employee Institute. You guys are all welcome to be there if you would like. Should finish around 11:15, and at least we typically try to. Our keynote speaker is going to be a lady by the name of Sue Mitchell, which that may not mean anything to you, but if you're familiar with the movie The Blind Side and familiar with the character Miss Sue, who was the tutor for Michael, the young man that overcame a lot of obstacles and became a success story. Miss Sue was his tutor. Well, the real life Miss Sue is going to be joining us as our keynote speaker, so I think that it's going to be really good. I know some of our administrators have heard her. I have not, but I've heard rave reviews about her. And as we try to set the theme for the year and the vision for being a game changer for kids, no matter what. They've endured a lot over the last couple of years especially, and their game has changed in a lot of ways beyond their control. And the idea is going to be that we can be the game changer for kids. And we need to do that every day, every child, every opportunity. And do that no matter what, and not use any excuses to stand in our way. So we're excited about Institute. We hope you can join us. We will host new employees, new teachers in this room. I think that's on Thursday. Ms. Nichols has put in a lot of hard work getting that ready, and so all of our new folks, which we have quite a few this year, and so we're excited to welcome them and welcome them into the family, so to speak. And I do want to acknowledge our employees who have spent a lot of time this summer in professional learning. There's a lot of folks that think, teaching is just a job where you have the entire summer off, and that may be the case for some, but a lot of our folks, probably most of our folks, seek out some kind of professional learning during the summer. Some of it is strongly encouraged, some of it may be voluntold, but a lot of it is volunteer. They choose to do these things during the summer because they want to be better at their craft and do what's best for kids, and so I do appreciate that. I also want to acknowledge our maintenance crews. There's a lot of work that goes on in the summer that you can't do during the school year when people are in the building. stripping and waxing floors being, one of the primary things they do in the summer. And there's a lot, that's hard work. I know they move every stitch of furniture in every building pretty much, and it's backbreaking work. But they do a great job with that. When we reopen in August, the floors look brand new, even in some of our older buildings. And so I just want to take my hat off to them for sure. I did want to mention too, Southwire. Southwire is a business. One of our business partners has donated some little bags like this of school supplies. And so it's just filled with school supplies. They've got different things in there depending on whether it's elementary or whether it's secondary. And I just want to thank them for their partnership in providing those. We'll be distributing some of those resources out to our students that may need those when school starts. And school does start on Thursday, August the 4th. And so we look forward to having everyone back, and we're excited about having another great school year. I'll also mention that this is not in my notes, but I had a lunch meeting with Charles Anderson. Some of you guys may have seen that on Facebook. All the superintendents from Collier County went over, and he was excited to donate some books to he wants every employee to have a copy of Electric City by Thomas Hager, and then another book called The Muscle Shoals by Alvin Rosenbaum, and both of them local history, and he mentioned this one in particular. This is the one that he was most excited about. He said it's about like reading a John Grisham novel, a real page turner about the local history. And he said, I just want the people who have the most influence over our children and teaching them about the Shoals area and the history of the Shoals area, I want them to have the right history, the right information. And so he wants all of our employees to have a copy of this. And so if we have these before Institute, we'll give them out then. If not, we'll get them in the hands of all our employees as soon as we get them. So, and with that, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Holden. I just want to say on behalf of the board, and I'll give anybody a chance to say anything they want to, but thank y'all so much for everything. We know that you work so hard, as does all the administrators, the teachers, the maintenance people. I mean, I'll start naming names to be every single person, but thank y'all so much. And it's trying to get a new school up and running and everybody in place. It has been a phenomenal effort, and it does not go unnoticed. And we thank you so much. Does anybody else want to say anything?
You said it perfect.
Okay.